ignore them. You go ahead and take that picture, and when it's all done, the images that you saw taken right there are here on my phone, which hopefully you will see now. Please work for us. Well, what you'd see, there we go. I can open up those images in SmartShoot, and you can see that it goes through and analyzes the images it took. I can tap to erase, and it goes through and finds the objects that are moving. And it processes through to detect things that I might want to remove from that image. When it's done, I can now just tap those two interlopers. They are now gone, and I get the image I was after in the first place. It works terrific. All right, thank you. Demo that worked. Okay, the second lens is a lens called Cinematograph. With Cinematograph, we aspire to allow you to take not just a still image, but also add some of the emotion of a moment. Imagine, for instance, you're downtown Helsinki, in the streets of Helsinki with some friends, having a great time, and you want to remember the moment with more than just a still image. You fire up Cinematograph, it takes a capture and does some processing. So again, let me show you that output right here that you saw being taken. Okay, first of all, you get to see a beautiful image taken by the PureView camera. But what if you did want to add just a little bit more of the emotion of the moment or some of the humor of that experience? I can come in here, modify, and add just a little bit of emotion. The flag blowing softly. Why? Because that particular day, there was something worth remembering, a warm breeze flowing through the streets of Helsinki. And if I wanted to add a little bit more, I can come in here and actually add a little bit of the humor of the moment as well. To remember how much fun we were having together as friends. And now what I end up with is an image that gives me just a little bit more than just that still image to remember that experience. So we're pretty proud of Cinematograph. Hopefully you really enjoy playing around with it. While these great lenses will be part of the Lumia920, we're really proud to also announce that we'll be shipping versions of this same technology for existing Lumia devices as part of our commitment to continue investing in our current devices. All right, finally, I want to tell you about the incredible PureView camera in the Lumia920, which is by far my favorite thing to talk about in this product. And you all probably know that taking great pictures is really all about capturing more light. And there are two direct ways to capture more light, to get more light to a sensor in the camera. The first is by increasing the size of the hole through which the light travels. This is called increasing aperture. And with the Lumia920, we've done exactly that. This is the largest aperture for full 16:9 capture shipped to date at f2.0. And a second way to get more light into the sensor is to keep the shutter open for longer, to let more light travel through. The problem is, the longer you leave the shutter open, the more likely you are to introduce blur into the image from your hand moving. The solution to this problem is something called object image stabilization, a technique to mechanically float elements of the camera on tiny little springs. It works to hold the camera steady even when your hand is shaking. But optical image stabilization in smartphones has been largely impractical due to the tiny size of the camera that we put in phones. The mechanical complexity of jamming little tiny springs inside that camera is just daunting. Well, in a sort of Finnish judo move, our engineers thought of a different way. Instead of attempting to isolate just a component of the camera, they decided that they would put springs around the entire optical assembly. Because it's so small, they could do that. In fact, and it turns out that, in fact, based on our lab test, the optical image stabilization system in the Lumia920 is up to 50% more effective than many high-end digital cameras today. The dramatic effect can most clearly be seen in video. Last week in Helsinki, our engineers rigged up this highly professional rig. I like the red clamp. It's like a wood glue thing. And the point of them doing it was they wanted to compare a competitor's high-end smartphone with default settings, including something called digital image stabilization, and the Nokia Lumia920. And they wanted to get an exact comparison. So they shot the video I'm about to show you. Go ahead and roll the video, you guys. So you can see here how professional and smooth the video is coming out. Over here, it's typical for a smartphone. Something you probably don't want to keep. The difference is dramatic. But professional looking video is only part of the story. You see, this same technology allows you to keep the shutter open longer when you're taking stills. It allows more of the light to pass through without creating image blur from your hand shaking. Let me show you a few examples. The first image here was taken recently here in Central Park, but again with a competitor's high-end smartphone using default settings and no flash. Here's that same instance captured with the PureView camera in the Lumia920. It's a spectacular difference. Let me show you another one. This one was taken in Finland last week. A woman on a bridge is a romantic spot in Helsinki. Again, it's enough to remember the moment, but not really something that you would cherish. Here's that same instance taken with PureView camera on the Lumia920. It's really incredible. Look at the lights in the background, the light on her face. And the reason is because the camera holds this, the camera can be held so still by that optical image stabilization system that you can capture all that extra light. You're going to say, oh, Kevin, you're showing me these pictures that were taken by professional photographers with actors, yada, yada, yada. I want to show you one more image. Last week, I took my son to a soccer game with a good friend of his in Helsinki. Turned out I got the date wrong. There was no soccer game. But there was something going on inside. It was an American football game. It turned out we sat down, we started talking to people around us. It was the Super Bowl of Finland. They call it the Maple Bowl. Who knew? We're sitting there, I say to my son Nathan and his friend Aaron, Nathan, you're in a Super Bowl. You will never be in another Super Bowl in your life. And I think, I'm sitting, man, I want to capture this moment. I wish I had my SLR. It turns out that day I'd put my 920 in my pocket. I'd just gotten a new build of software that day. Thought, well, it's not final software, but I'll take it out and give it a try. This is the image I took. This is a cloudy day in the afternoon in a not well-lit stadium at all. Look at the light on their faces, the beautiful color in the background, and the aspect ratio. This was the image that as it came off the camera. This is pre-production. No editing, just something I took right off the camera. The point is that I didn't have to compromise. I didn't have to regret not having that other camera with me. And I didn't have to live with a subpar image from my smartphone. I got the best of both worlds, which is why we say the Lumia920 is a phone that really adapts to your life and works for you and not the other way around. Okay, so the Lumia920, what have you seen? A beautiful design that proudly stands apart from the crowd. Pure Motion HD Plus, a better than HD display. Effortless wireless charging, exclusive apps you'll use every day, and a simply miraculous PureView camera. These are innovations that help the Lumia920 fit even more naturally into your everyday life. But our obsession to deliver those innovations had another outcome. Because as great as the Nokia Lumia920 is, we know not everyone wants or needs that level of functionality. But that doesn't mean they want to compromise. So we challenged ourselves to deliver some of the best of what you've seen today in a more versatile package. This is the Nokia Lumia820. The Nokia Lumia820 is an evolution of the Lumia design. It has the same polycarbonate unibody and with softer, straighter lines that form an elegant shape. It has a 4.3-inch clear black display that has the same sunlight readability enhancements and the same super sensitive touch. It also has built-in NFC, comes with the Nokia location services, including Nokia City Lens, Nokia Music, and all the exclusive apps found on the Lumia920. It has exclusive Carl Zeiss optics, a wide aperture, and many of the same Nokia-developed imaging algorithms you'll find on the Lumia920. It also comes with all those Nokia digital lenses. But the Lumia820 has an innovation all of its own. Press on the camera badge and pull the corners back, and the back shell pops off. Underneath, you'll find a 1650 milliamp battery and a micro SD memory slot. We're introducing 3 different types of shells for the Lumia820. The standard shells make it easy to change the color to suit your mood. It comes in bright red,